When money starts feeling stable, people usually stop paying attention as closely. You stop checking things as closely. Not because you don't care anymore, but because the pressure finally lifted. But that quiet shift is where many stable money systems slowly start falling apart. By the end of this video, you'll know how to stay aware without turning money into constant work. The quiet shift most people miss. Here's the part most people don't expect once their finances start feeling calmer. The habits that helped you fix money problems aren't always the habits that protect stability long term. When money was chaotic, progress came from attention, tracking everything, checking accounts constantly, watching every dollar. But stability changes the way money problems appear. They rarely arrive as big emergencies anymore. Instead, they show up quietly, through small shifts in spending, new routines, or tiny costs that slowly start slipping past your attention. And because things feel stable, those changes are easy to miss. Why this happens? Once money stops feeling stressful all the time, something very natural happens. Your brain relaxes. You stop checking balances as often. You stop thinking about every purchase. You stop watching the small details that used to matter so much. And honestly, that makes sense. When money was tight, paying attention was survival. But once things start feeling stable, constant monitoring feels unnecessary, even exhausting. So most people slowly shift from active attention to passive trust. And that's where small problems begin. Not because you stopped caring, but because stability changed the way risk shows up. Have you ever noticed this happening with your own money? The small changes that start slipping through. Once stability settles in, money problems rarely arrive as big shocks anymore. Instead, they begin showing up in much quieter ways. A subscription that slowly increases. A small upgrade that becomes a new habit. An expense that used to feel occasional but starts happening every week. None of these changes feel serious on their own. In fact, most of them seem harmless. But stability creates a new kind of risk. Because when money feels calm, these small shifts don't trigger the same attention they once did. And over time, those tiny changes can slowly reshape the system that once worked so well. Stability needs awareness, not more work. Here's the part most people misunderstand about financial stability. Keeping things stable doesn't usually require more effort. In fact, most of the hard work already happened earlier, when you organized bills, reduced expenses, and built better habits. What stability actually needs is awareness. Just small moments where you pause and notice what's changing. Quick look at spending patterns. A moment to ask whether a new habit is becoming permanent. Or a simple check to see if small costs are starting to stack up again. Those quiet check-ins are often enough to keep a stable system working. When money finally starts feeling stable, it's easy to assume the work is finished. But stability changes how financial problems appear. They stop showing up as big emergencies and start showing up as small shifts that quietly slip past your attention. That's why stability doesn't need constant effort. It simply needs awareness. Just enough attention to notice when something small begins changing. 'Cause when you catch those shifts early, the system that brought you stability can keep working for a long time. And that's another step toward financial calm, not by doing more, but by understanding what stability really needs to last. Here's something important most people don't realize. The same quiet changes that slowly weaken a stable money system can also be reversed once you know what to watch for. In the next video, I'll show you how to keep progress from quietly reversing even when life starts getting busy again.